Hey everyone, today we're debunking the myths, the misconceptions that we've been told about what it means to be happy. We often chase after a version of happiness that's been sold to us, but understanding what happiness isn't can be just as important. Over the next few chapters, we'll break down 5 of the biggest myths surrounding happiness. So, how do we actually go about finding our own personal version of happiness? Think about it this way. What if everyone's ideal vacation was the exact same thing? The first myth we're tackling is a big one. The idea that happiness is a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. Like there's this universal set of criteria, and if you just tick all the boxes, boom, you've achieved happiness. But here's the thing, happiness is deeply personal. What brings one person joy might make another cringe. For some, it's climbing mountains, for others, it's curling up with a good book. Some people thrive in bustling cities, while others find peace in quiet solitude. And you know what? That's perfectly okay. In fact, it's more than okay, it's actually kind of beautiful. We're all unique individuals with different backgrounds, experiences, and aspirations. So why do we expect our happiness to look the same? It's like expecting everyone to have the same favorite color or ice cream flavor. It just doesn't make sense. Imagine a world where everyone wanted to go to, say, Disney World at the same time. But because we have different definitions of what's enjoyable, some people find solace in a secluded cabin in the woods, while others are happiest exploring bustling foreign cities. And that's a good thing. It allows us to appreciate the diversity of human experience. The key takeaway here is that there's no single path to happiness. It's not about fitting into some predefined mold. It's about discovering what brings you joy, what makes you feel alive, and pursuing that, even if it looks different from what everyone else is doing. Because ultimately, happiness is a journey, not a destination, and it's a journey that's unique to each and every one of us. Well, it starts with self-reflection. Take some time to really think about what brings you joy, what activities make you lose track of time, what values are most important to you. Don't be afraid to experiment, to try new things, and to step outside of your comfort zone. You might be surprised at what you discover about yourself and what truly makes you happy. Remember, happiness isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. It's about embracing your individuality, discovering what brings you joy, and creating a life that aligns with your values and aspirations. And that, my friends, is a journey worth taking. Let's be real. We've all daydreamed about winning the lottery, haven't we? Imagining the endless possibilities, the freedom and the joy that a sudden windfall could bring into our lives. That fantasy of financial freedom, of being able to buy whatever we want, travel wherever we please, and live a life of luxury without any worries. It's tempting to think that money equals happiness, that with enough wealth, all our problems would simply vanish. And sure, on the surface, it seems to make sense. After all, who wouldn't be happier with a bit more cash in their pocket? Money can buy you nice things, comfortable experiences, and a certain level of security. It can provide a cushion against life's uncertainties. It can alleviate financial stress, which is undeniably a good thing. The relief of paying off debts or covering bills cannot be overstated. But here's the catch. While money can certainly contribute to our well-being, especially when it comes to meeting our basic needs, countless studies have shown that once our basic needs are met, the correlation between wealth and happiness plateaus. Beyond a certain point, more money doesn't equate to more joy. In other words, there's a point where more money doesn't necessarily translate to more happiness. The initial thrill fades, and we're left seeking the next big thing. It's like that old saying goes, money can't buy you happiness, but it can buy you a yacht big enough to sail right up next to it. The allure of luxury is strong, but it's not the ultimate answer. So why doesn't more money automatically equal more happiness? Why do we still feel a void despite our wealth? Well, one explanation is something called the hedonic treadmill. It's a concept that explains our tendency to return to a baseline level of happiness despite positive or negative events. It's the idea that we humans have this remarkable ability to adapt to our circumstances, both good and bad. We get used to new situations quickly, and the novelty wears off. We get a raise, we're thrilled, for a while. The excitement is real, but it doesn't last forever. We buy a new car, we're ecstatic, for a while. The new car smell fades, and so does our initial joy. But then, we adapt, and that initial surge of happiness fades, leaving us wanting more. We crave the next thrill, the next purchase. It's like we're on a treadmill, constantly running but never actually getting anywhere. The pursuit is endless and exhausting. We keep chasing after more, bigger, better, thinking that's the key to lasting happiness, but it's a never-ending cycle. The more we get, the more we want. And the thing is, this treadmill isn't just limited to material possessions. It extends to all areas of our lives. It can apply to achievements, status, even relationships. We achieve something great, but soon we're looking for the next milestone. We achieve a goal, we feel a sense of accomplishment, but then we're on to the next thing, constantly striving for more. The cycle continues. So, if money can't buy happiness, what can? What truly brings us joy and fulfillment? Well, research suggests that experiences, relationships, and purpose play a much bigger role in our overall well-being than material wealth. These are the things that create lasting happiness. Think about it. What are some of your happiest memories? They likely involve moments shared with others, not things you bought. Chances are they involve spending time with loved ones, pursuing passions, helping others, or having meaningful experiences. These are the moments that stick with us. Instead of chasing after the next big purchase, focus on cultivating meaningful relationships, pursuing activities that bring you joy, and finding ways to make a positive impact on the world around you. These are the true sources of happiness. Remember, true happiness isn't found in the pursuit of possessions, but in the richness of our experiences, the strength of our connections, and the fulfillment we find in living a life of purpose. Embrace these elements, and you'll find a deeper, more lasting joy. Okay, let's be real for a second. How many times have you heard someone say, "Just be positive," as if it's the ultimate solution to all of life's problems? And don't get me wrong, I'm a big believer in the power of optimism. But this idea that we need to be positive all the time, frankly, it's exhausting and, dare I say, a little bit absurd. It's like saying, to be healthy, you should only ever inhale, never exhale. We need to breathe out the bad air to make room for the good, right? Our emotional lives are kind of similar. Trying to suppress or deny negative emotions is like trying to hold your breath underwater indefinitely. Eventually, you're going to have to come up for air, and that's where the problem with this myth really lies. It creates this pressure to pretend that everything is okay when it's not. And that can prevent us from actually dealing with the difficult emotions that are an inevitable part of the human experience. So, in this chapter we're going to dive into the world of emotions, explore the full spectrum of human experience, and debunk the idea that happiness is all about slapping on a fake smile and pretending everything is sunshine and rainbows, because let's face it, sometimes life throws us curveballs and it's okay to not be okay. Section 2. Embracing the full spectrum. Think about your favorite book or movie for a second. What makes it so compelling? Is it the constant happiness and triumph of the characters? Or is it the conflict, the struggle, the moments of sadness, anger, and even despair that make the victories so much sweeter? Life, my friends, is not a Disney movie. It's a messy, complicated, and beautiful tapestry woven with threads of joy, sorrow, excitement, disappointment, and everything in between. To deny ourselves the full spectrum of human emotions is to deny ourselves the richness and depth of the human experience. Imagine a world where we only experienced happiness. Sounds pretty great at first, right? But think about it. Without sadness, could we truly appreciate joy? Without anger, would we be motivated to fight for justice and equality? Without fear, would we take the necessary precautions to protect ourselves and those we love? The truth is, our emotions, even the negative ones, serve a purpose. They provide us with valuable information about ourselves and the world around us. They help us navigate challenges, build resilience, and connect with others on a deeper level. Section 3. The power of negative emotions. Now I know what you might be thinking. John, are you seriously telling me that there's power in negative emotions? That feeling sad, angry, or anxious is actually a good thing? And the answer, my friends, is a resounding yes, with a caveat. It's not that negative emotions themselves are inherently good, but they can be incredibly useful if we learn to listen to them. Think of it this way, your emotions are like messengers delivering important telegrams from the depths of your soul. Ignoring these messages, pretending they don't exist, or trying to silence the messenger altogether, that's like throwing away a crucial piece of mail without even opening it. You might miss out on something really important. So the next time you're feeling down, don't try to force yourself to be positive. Instead, try to approach your emotions with a sense of curiosity and compassion. Ask yourself, what is this feeling trying to tell me? What can I learn from this experience, and how can I grow from it? Okay, so you're climbing Mount Everest. You've trained for months, maybe years. You've sacrificed time, energy, maybe even a few toenails. You finally reached the summit. You're exhausted, freezing, but elated. You did it. You reached the destination. You're happy, right? But what happens when you climb back down? What happens when the feeling fades? This is the problem with thinking of happiness as a destination. It implies that once you get there, you've somehow won happiness. It suggests there's a finish line, a point at which you can finally stop trying, stop growing, stop striving. But the truth is, much like climbing Everest, you eventually have to come down. Life, much like a really good book, isn't about rushing to the end. It's about savoring each chapter, each plot twist, each beautifully crafted sentence. It's about the journey, not just the destination. So, if happiness isn't a destination, what is it? Well, stick with me because in the next section we're going to explore what it really means to embrace happiness as a journey. For years, the idea that we're all born with a predetermined happiness set point has been a bit of a downer, right? It's like being told that no matter what you do, your happiness level is set in stone. Like some of us are just hardwired to be more optimistic, while others are stuck on the struggle bus of pessimism. It feels unfair, doesn't it? It's tempting to think, well, that's just how I am. Might as well embrace my inner Eeyore. But what if I told you there's more to the story? But here's the thing, our brains are way cooler than that. They're not just static organs, they're dynamic and ever-changing. They're capable of incredible change and adaptation, thanks to this awesome thing called neuroplasticity. It's like having a superpower you didn't know you had. Think of your brain like a muscle. Just like you can strengthen your biceps with regular exercise, you can also strengthen your brain. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And the more you focus on positive thoughts, the more your brain adapts to that way of thinking. The same goes for happiness. It's not just a fleeting emotion. It's a skill you can develop. The more we engage in activities that promote happiness, like practicing gratitude, cultivating positive relationships, and finding joy in small moments, or challenging negative thought patterns, the more our brains rewire themselves to embrace those positive emotions. It's like creating a new default setting for your mind. So yeah, we might have a baseline level of happiness influenced by genetics and early experiences, but that doesn't mean we're stuck there forever. We have the power to change our own narrative. We have the power to crank up the thermostat on our own happiness. Imagine being able to dial up your joy whenever you need it. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. Changing deeply ingrained thought patterns and behaviors takes effort and commitment. It's a journey, not a quick fix. It's like learning a new language or mastering a musical instrument. It requires dedication, practice, patience, and a whole lot of grace for ourselves when we inevitably stumble along the way. And trust me, we all stumble. But just like learning to play the ukulele or finally understanding the subjunctive mood in Spanish, the rewards are totally worth the effort. Imagine the sense of accomplishment and joy you'll feel. Imagine waking up each morning feeling more optimistic, more resilient, more equipped to handle whatever life throws your way. That's the power of neuroplasticity. It gives us the ability to rewrite our own narratives, to break free from limiting beliefs, and to create a brighter, more fulfilling reality for ourselves. So how do we actually flex those happiness muscles? Well, let's dive into some practical strategies in the next section. Alright, let's get down to brass tacks. Remember those happiness-boosting activities I mentioned earlier? Practicing gratitude is a great place to start. Take a few minutes each day to reflect on the good stuff, no matter how small. Nurturing meaningful connections is another big one. Spend time with people who light you up, who make you laugh, who remind you of your awesomeness. And don't underestimate the power of random acts of kindness. Challenge those negative thoughts, man. When that inner critic starts whispering doubts and fears, talk back with evidence, logic, and a healthy dose of self-compassion. And finally, take care of your physical health. Get enough sleep, eat nourishing foods, move your body in ways that bring you joy. Because when you feel good physically, it's a lot easier to feel good mentally and emotionally. So let's start flexing those happiness muscles today. So there you have it, folks. We've debunked 5 common myths about happiness, and hopefully along the way, we've discovered that happiness isn't some elusive unicorn. It's a journey, a practice, a conscious choice we make each day. It's about finding joy in the ordinary, cultivating gratitude for what we have, and rewiring our brains to embrace positivity. We have the power to choose happiness, to create a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling. So what will you choose today? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more myth-busting, life-affirming content.